Hey guys, today we are going to install the radius rods on the new Maverick R. First thing you want to do after jacking up the car is remove the tires. Remove the wheel and tire combo. And just set that off to the side. So we're gonna start with removing the radius rods. There are plates behind here with welded nuts. They are Loctited. Sometimes it will break the nut off the plate, sometimes it won't. We're gonna break all these free and remove the radius rods. Oh, get it, boys! Gah! One. Two. Gotta call in Big Mama. That's good. Snap the nut. That's good, because then we can show that that's what happens. When the backing plate snaps off, it breaks the welds off, and you're left with just a nut. So we're gonna reuse that nut later in the video. All right, now we're gonna take the toe link rod out. You're gonna wanna save that flat washer. So now we're gonna pull this mud plate. You can either use it or not. I'll show you both ways to do it in the video. Depending on your offset and how your wheels and tires fit on the actual hub itself would depend on whether you wanna run this. We're gonna give you a couple different options on how to do it, but we're gonna be removing it right now in order to get this ball joint out. Now we're gonna get our air hammer. You're gonna need an air hammer with a fork in order to get this out. There's a couple other ways you could probably do it, but that's how we do it here. Air hammer, get it right behind there, and then just slap it out. When going to install our double shear kit on the hub, you can either run the mud scraper or you cannot. Now, if you're gonna run the mud scraper, the kit comes with a spacer. You do not use that spacer, and it mounts flush up against that. If you are not gonna run the mud scraper, you would put our spacer on there to compensate for that. Now, why would you run a mud scraper or a dirt scraper? Depending on the offset and the terrain you are riding in. Why would you not? If you're not in a rocky area or you're not in a muddy area, you might not want to run it. So for this video, I'm not gonna run it, but for this purpose and the sake of the video, I'm gonna run our double shear kit. When you're going to install the radius rods, you're gonna wanna put the left hand in on the inside. The left hand is gonna have a line on the side, on the jam nut, and on the actual rod itself. The reason we do that is because on our middle radius rod, which would be the toe link, that one has our logo on it, and if you do right hand in, the logo is gonna be upside down, and nobody wants an upside down logo. Now we're gonna install the upper radius rod. Left hand first. In order to get the bolt hole to line up sometimes, you can also misadjust the radius rod, but you wanna make sure that you have the heims in place in order to do that, okay? You don't wanna spin one side, not the other. You wanna make sure they are both spinning simultaneously. We are gonna put on the toe link now. On the toe link, again, left hand on the inside so that the logo reads straight. There's also going to be a pin that I'm gonna install here in a second, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. When we first took off the toe link as well, the nut broke off of the backing plate that it's on, so we are gonna have to reattach that nut as well. So we'll put that through, and then we will have to add the nut to it. In order to do that, go through the center plate here, and then just put your hands on the inside, and then you can just hold it up. Okay, Xiong, boys. All right, guys, so now we're gonna install the pin kit on the hub side. Go ahead and install the pin on the hub, and then you can put your Heim in. The washer that we talked about earlier in the video, go ahead and put that on the inside of the threads on the pin, and then we supply you with a nylock. Go ahead and throw that on. Now, you can torque this bolt. It is extremely hard to get a torque wrench on the inside of this hub. So if you want to torque it, you can pull the axle, you can pull everything on the outside, the caliper, the rotor, and get that on there. Or you can go nice and good and tight, and we can get that locked up for you. So now that we got that nice and tight, we can throw the cotter pin on the inside. Just like that. Got the cotter pin in, so we can throw that back on. So now we're gonna install the double shear kit and the spacer. Spacer goes on the back side here. Double shear kit's gonna go on here. With the bolts that we supply, we are also gonna add blue Loctite. Go ahead and throw that up there, just like that. Now we're gonna install the bolt with the flat washer on the back side. Add a little dab of blue. Now that we're locked down, we can put the lower radius rod on. Remember, left side in. All right, now that we got all the nuts and bolts attached, time to lock them down. Now that all the nuts and bolts are tight, we can throw the tire back on the car, and then we can set the alignment. All right, guys, once you get your radius rods all tight and your tire back on, you can go ahead and reference this video right here. That's gonna show you how to do an alignment. Now, it is not gonna be on a Maverick R, it is gonna be on a Can-Am X3, which is exactly the same when it comes to alignment. You have your toe link and you have your camber. So you're gonna set your camber and your toe link according to that video. Also too, when it comes to ride height, it's gonna be very similar. You're gonna reference this video as well right here. That's gonna show you how to do it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.